Many see photography today as a dying art form because of AI, because everything has collapsed into the cell phone, and cell phone capabilities when it comes to photography is getting better and better. However, there are still very lucrative avenues to take as a photographer. And one of those is what I want to speak about today, which is corporate headshots and portrait photos. This is so high in demand. People don't realize that every working professional, they want to have a polished presence online, on their LinkedIn profiles, on their Facebook, on their Instagram even, or just simply on the company website. As a web developer during the day, I was able to make so much more money each year because I sell my clients on doing all their corporate headshots and portraits for the website, but also so they could use it in magazines, so they could use it on their social media profiles. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on how high in demand this actually is. Online presence is still super crucial, not only for businesses, but for individuals. And we're not just talking about doctors, lawyers, and accountants. I'm talking about professionals in every single corporate industry there is. So to quickly show you guys what I do on the corporate photography scene, if you navigate to my website, promoambitions.com, you go on the drop down services, photography, videography, you will see that aside from exterior photography and all that jazz, I do a lot on the corporate scene. It's mostly headshots and portraits, a lot for doctors, lawyers, accountants, physical therapists, anyone that's got a budget for such a thing. And again, if this video does well, I will run you through my process and how I correct them, how I edit them, how I go ahead and take out the glare and just make it look professional. Now, if this video does well, I'm going to jump into my pricing schedule. I'm going to jump into all of the different gear that I use, the lenses that I use, what aperture, what ISO, what shutter speed, how do I go ahead and retouch them on Photoshop, what is important to look out for, appearance, how do you position the client, how do you make sure that their appearance is pristine, how do you conduct yourself when you come and do these portraits and headshots, and also group photography. I would love to make instructional videos on how to do group photography. I feel that this is a weakness among a lot of the working photographers. They don't understand how to position people, they don't understand lighting, and they don't understand how to direct the individuals to have a cohesive posture in the picture. And so if this video does well, I promise I'm going to put out those tutorials. But in this video, I want to talk about why it is really wise to do corporate photography, and also I want to talk about how profitable it can be. So the first thing is you're going to have a lot of recurring clients. You're going to have a lot of continued relationships and continued work. And this is so important because not only can you cross-sell them or upsell them on other products or offerings or services that you are proficient in, but also professionals, they want to refresh their image every couple of years. So they're going to be calling you back. And if not them, once they put that profile photo up on whatever platform they're showcasing, that's going to attract a lot of their friends, a lot of their colleagues to be like, hey, Jim, where did you get your headshot? It looks amazing. And then you're going to get more work that way. Also, if you're working for a company, they always hire or fire people. Let's say a law firm, right? So when I go and I shoot corporate photography for a law firm, I do group shots and then I also do the individual lawyers. However, that law firm over time, they are going to let someone go or they're going to bring on new staff and they need them photographed. The same thing goes for doctors' offices, especially if there's like 20 plus doctors in one company. They are going to cycle through them a lot. There will be more additions to the team, which means more work for you. They don't have hours to spend with the photographers. They could position them a certain way. They have to come into the scene. I position them. I get the lighting right. I click. On to the next one. Also, there is a creative expression that goes into these, and you have to be highly specialized. And the more you do these and the more you learn about the process, you're going to feel great because you're going to be a subject matter expert in the space. I'm telling you, there are not a lot of people that specialize in corporate portraits and headshots that do it well. And there is a creative element to it. The way you position them, the way you visualize to see how exactly they would look best, the retouching afterwards. There is some creativity that goes into it. And I know, because as an artist myself, I know how much of a drain it is when you're doing something that you love, a passion, but it's already all set. There is no creative element to it. There is no room to play. It kind of gets boring and monotonous, and it feels very forced. Also, the other thing I want to mention is that the overhead costs are quite low. People think that you need to buy the nicest camera with the nicest lenses and have 8 different lenses and have the most expensive lighting. That's not the case. And in a future video, again, if this video does well, I will show you all the equipment that I use, and you will be surprised how affordable it actually is. Another element that is super, super important, especially if you're running your own business, is the networking element. You are going to be rubbing shoulders with some upper echelon folks, some high caliber professionals that have money and money to spend, and so do all their friends, so do all of their connections. And so while you're there, and this is also something I want to put into a future video, I want to show you the etiquette that you should come in with and how you should network. Not to be cheesy, not to be over the top, but there is a way to cross-sell, to upsell, or to just let them know, hey, this is what I do. Please do keep me in mind. Also, the skill development aspect of it is great, because the more of these that you do, there's so much to learn about lighting. There is so much to learn about the way that you approach these projects that you are going to become better and better and more efficient at it. And the more of these that you do, you are going to set yourself even further apart from those people that are trying to compete with you. The other reason I really love this is to touch base on the recurring clients aspect, is that it can be a steady income. Because again, when you get those contracts for big companies, and I'm telling you, if you do it long enough, those big contracts will come. We're talking about 100+ workers. And sometimes they're going to hire you to go ahead and do all the portrait and headshot photography for all their workers. And then you can schedule that a certain way. And that could be really, really great for steady income, especially if you spread it out. And I'm telling you, they're going to be inviting you back. And the last thing I want to mention is that corporate and headshot photography, you're not wasting your time if you're trying to master those, because that's going to be around for a really long time to come. For at least the next decade, websites will still be important. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, like LinkedIn, they're going to be around for a really, really long time. And also, a lot of people just need headshots or portraits because they're going to be featured in certain articles or certain write-ups online. Or perhaps they want to put it on a billboard even. And if you do certain projects and they are featured in a prominent magazine, that's just something else that you could put in your portfolio. This is something else that you could put on your resume to go ahead and continue to sell your services to other clients. Also, YouTube isn't going anywhere. And a lot of these companies, they're creating YouTube channels. And guess what they need on every video that they upload? They need a really nice cover photo, and they don't want to have the same exact picture of themselves on every single cover photo. And this is where you come in. This is where you can take different poses, different shots, even different expressions. Maybe one that's confident, maybe one that's excited, maybe one that's upset. Because remember, they're trying to entice the audience on YouTube, and based on what the video is about and the type of energy and feel that they're trying to convey, they're going to need a whole plethora of different shots and feels. And that's where you can come in and create that. And the one thing I will say is that Photoshop is the premier platform to go ahead and master when it comes to retouching and editing photos in the post-processing phase. This is very, very important because Photoshop will continue to be at the forefront. They will continue to embed AI tools or just make it a lot easier to remove backgrounds, to change lighting. They've been on top of the game for a really long time, and the tutorials that I plan to put out, I'm going to have a lot of tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on how to make someone's look perfect based on the feel that you're trying to get. And a lot of that has to do with Photoshop. Also, sometimes you're going to have to Photoshop people in. For instance, a project I just did last week was a group shot for a very, very well-known magazine. And it was for an orthopedic surgery group, and one of their doctors was missing because of a scheduling error, and he could not make it to the photo shoot. I had to come back the next day, set everything up again, and just take a picture of him. And then I had to seamlessly Photoshop him in, and I did just that. I'll probably make a video on it in the future. And so with all that being said, I just wanted to put it out there because I know in this day and age, especially if you're working for yourself and you're a photographer, sometimes you are scrambling to just live paycheck to paycheck because photography, everybody is trying to do it for less and less these days. It's almost like a race to the bottom where some people even want to just do it for free because they love it and it's a hobby and they bought themselves a camera or they're trying to build their portfolio. But I'm telling you, on the corporate scene, headshots and portraits, these professionals, they have money and they don't want to mess around. They don't want to bring an amateur. They want to bring someone in that's going to do a stellar job for them. And so sure, at first, if you're just starting out, you're going to have to take some professional photos of some friends or just offer your services for very, very low fee to a company so that you could build your portfolio. But afterwards, you can charge, and you can charge handsomely. And also, not only can you enhance your bottom line, but you can enhance your skill set. And it is going to make your passion for photography be that much more reinforced, because what you actually love to capture is probably not headshots and portrait photography, but it might be nature, or it might be event photography, or it might just be of your boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever it is. But the fact that you're going to be doing that for fun on the side and not making money with it, you're not going to hate photography because of how expensive the equipment could be, because you're making a nice profit doing it on the corporate scene. So I just wanted to create a video about that. If this is something you're interested in, please mention it in the comment section, and I'll go ahead and I will create very detailed step-by-step tutorials on my process. And hopefully I'll even learn from you guys in the comment section as I make these videos. I know this channel can be a little bit scattered, but it is a hobby of mine. I just put on this channel whatever I'm passionate about. And as of late, I have really been grinding to take my business to the next level. The web development aspect of it, the AI aspect of it, 3D printing and photography and videography. And because I've been focusing on it so much, I want to help others that might be entrepreneurs and are trying to find that lucrative thing to hold on to and to grow their business. And so hopefully this can be something that you can add to the mix. I appreciate you guys for watching this video in its entirety. I will see you all in the next one.